Good evening. Not good afternoon, not good morning. Good evening. Rob Orson will be marching Revolutionary War. And Mark Malloy. You've done it. This is our last stop on our, Kevin, how many hours? 32 hour
non-stop
April 18th and 19th 250th commemorative videos, and just us touring it too. It's been a lot of fun. We're ending here at the site here of James Miller, and Mark will talk about that. Keep in mind, as you start commemorating these events in the American Revolution, we're talking about almost 100 American casualties on this day, and almost 300 British casualties, which will pale in comparison to Bunker Hill in a few months. But on this day, it's a very bloody day in American history, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm really happy you all have been following us. We did lose Bert and Dan, but so be it. We got Mark back. We traded Bert and Dan for Mark. But Mark's going to talk a little bit about James Miller and the reason why we decided to come to this and make this our last spot.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, what's, again, I've read about this is actually my first time actually being on the spot. And this is a pretty awesome that they've commemorated him. As you can see, a wreath has been put up to him and a flag. And he marks one of the last deaths from April 19th, 1775. He's up on this hillside here with some other militiamen. And again, the British they're trying to get into Charleston right at about this time, 250 years ago. Sun's going down, and they're trying to get into Charlestown. There's actually an American force behind us under the command of Timothy Pickering that's actually coming down, and they might have an opportunity to come down and cut the entire British column off and force them to either surrender or fight to the death, but they don't actually move off of the hill behind us. But the British, again, are still trying to get by when James Miller and some militiamen are still firing on the British column as it goes by. The British send, again, like they've been doing through much of the time, they send detachments off to try and get rid of these militiamen who are hitting them from the sides. And as these British redcoats start coming up, his fellow militiamen start running off, and they say, hey, you should probably get out of here too. And that's where you have the quote you see at the bottom of the monument, I am too old to run. And rather than run, he stays there with his musket, and the British open a volley fire on him. He's hit with multiple musket balls, and he's killed instantly. And like I said, he represents one of those last deaths. And again, a 65-year-old man, this is part of these guys these are their homes that are being quite literally invaded, and they're making defenses of their homes here. The British are lucky that they have the Navy in the harbor. Once they're able to get into Charlestown, they're under the safety of the Royal Navy's cannon. And then, at this moment, it's going to stop being the battles of Lexington and Concord. And we are about to get into the next phase of the Revolutionary War, and that is the Siege of Boston. That literally begins the next day. And so we move on from the first day of the Revolution, and like I said, being able to go to all these sites, be at the places where the history happened. Please keep following us at Emerging Revolutionary War. We have blog posts coming up. We have our podcast. If you haven't listened to us, check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, YouTube. You can follow all our stuff on there as well. And check out our books. Like I said, we love telling these stories and bringing people. So in a lot of these books, you can find these cool little exclusive pieces of history and where to find them, and learn about these really important battles of the American Revolution. And then we're going to, I think we got one more stop at the end of tonight. We got to end at the Warren Tavern back in Charlestown, just to finish off our entire trip here. But it's been a whirlwind. I'm exhausted, but it's really been a whirlwind.
Kevin, if we can just say this, Mark has just established a dictatorship, as it usually goes. We talked all about dictatorships and tyranny this whole time.
This is a republic.
And Mark just selects our place to eat after this. 32 straight hours.
And did you mention that we'll be at Fort Todd?
Oh, yes. So like I said, we're going into the next phase of the Revolutionary War, and we hope you follow us over the next 8 years. And like I said, we're going to try to be at a lot of places. We're gonna have folks at Fort Ticonderoga. For the takeover of Fort Ticonderoga in May of 1775. And like I said, we're gonna start doing stuff with Siege of Boston. We got Bunker Hill coming up later this year. We're gonna be down south at Great Bridge, maybe up at Quebec. I don't know. We'll see. We got a lot of things we'd love to be able to do. But yeah, keep following us. But yeah, being able to be, to experience the revolution in real time like this is just a pretty amazing thing. And we love sharing it with you all.
And thank you. And we're definitely, at least I am, too old to run. Thank you, everyone.